For almost 2 decades, we were sold a very specific, very confident promise. We were told that technical intelligence was the ultimate economic advantage, right? Learn to code, learn data science, master the machine, and your future is undeniably secure. And then, generative AI arrived. And almost overnight, something very strange happened. The cognitive tasks that once required years of rigorous training, writing drafts, generating code, summarizing dense research, even producing synthetic media, they suddenly became cheap. They became accessible to almost everyone. Generative AI didn't just introduce a cool new tool. It completely shattered and rebuilt the economic structure of intelligence itself.
So let's just pause and break the fourth wall here for a second, because this directly impacts you. I want you to really think about this. When the very act of generating information becomes practically free, what happens to your economic value? If a machine can write, code, and execute at a massive scale and do it in a matter of seconds, what exactly is it that makes you irreplaceable? We are literally watching the value of routine cognition compress in real time, right before our eyes.
Okay, let's dive into this. To understand where we're going, we have to look at what is fundamentally shifting underneath us. Historically, we lived in a world of information scarcity. Just having access to expertise gave you an enormous advantage. But in this new AI world, information generation is infinite. It has this almost perfect, frictionless geometry to it. So when intelligence and content become incredibly abundant, what becomes scarce? The answer is meaning. Meaning is imperfect, it's hand-drawn, it's deeply messily human, and it is entirely subjective.
Section 1. Storytelling as cognitive infrastructure.
We often dismiss storytelling as a soft skill or just mere entertainment. But if you look at it through a structural lens, storytelling is actually the foundational architecture of human reality. It's the evolutionary mechanism we use to compress massive complexity into emotionally memorable structures. Humans don't just remember raw data, we remember narratives. Human civilization scaled because stories allowed us to cooperate and build shared realities. And in the AI age, this is absolutely critical. Because while AI can generate terabytes of perfect information, it cannot create belief. Humans, and only humans, decide what actually matters.
Just consider how narrative power dictates the real world. A company might have an objectively superior AI model, but public perception inevitably follows the best storyteller. Apple's product launches, for instance, they don't just sell specs, they sell an entire worldview. Or notice how OpenAI has strategically framed their technology, not as some cold, calculating technical system, but as an empowering assistant. Look at modern influencer economies, where emotional resonance routinely outperforms pure raw expertise. In a world completely flooded with synthetic media, the people who can shape an authentic narrative identity are the ones who will hold disproportionate cultural and economic power.
Section 2. The judgment bottleneck.
We are facing a pretty jarring philosophical paradox right now. Many people assume that as AI gets smarter, human thinking just becomes less important. But the reality is the exact opposite. There's a real danger here, something called judgment decay. This is the trap where we gradually outsource our independent thinking itself to machines. When execution is completely automated, human direction becomes the absolute bottleneck. Because execution without human judgment doesn't create efficiency, it creates pure chaos. The more powerful and abundant AI becomes, the more vital, independent, critical human thought becomes.
Let's look at how this actually plays out on the ground. AI massively expands our execution capacity, right? It can generate 10 possible marketing strategies instantly. It can draft incredibly complex legal text or process vast amounts of medical data. But all of that execution is just noise without human judgment. When an AI hands you 10 different strategies, prioritizing the right one is the elite skill. AI-generated legal drafts still require a human to interpret the subtle contextual nuance. AI medical systems need clinicians who actually understand the unwritten context of a patient's life. The elite professionals of the future won't be defined by raw production. They'll be defined by their ability to filter, interpret, and make hard decisions under uncertainty.
Section 3. Emotional Economic Infrastructure.
That filtering and interpreting we just talked about, that requires a profound understanding of human nature. Look at the premium resources of genuine trust, empathy, recognition, belonging, inspiration, and emotional safety. These are no longer just optional social polish for a resume. They are core economic infrastructure. As AI automates the transactional interactions in our lives, authentic human connection becomes incredibly scarce and therefore incredibly valuable. A machine might be able to simulate empathy perfectly, sure, but we assign deep, lasting legitimacy only to genuine human experiences. Humans are social organisms before they are rational calculators. I want you to really let the weight of that quote sink in. An engineer might build a technically brilliant, flawless product, but if nobody understands why it matters on an emotional level, that product will fail. Period. Leadership effectiveness, brand loyalty, community building, they all depend entirely on emotional trust. At the end of the day, persuasion and emotional framing are what actually drive human action.
Section 4. The ultimate meta-skill.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows the future is absolutely not a story of humans versus AI. It's humans dramatically amplified by AI. Look at the difference in these domains. AI excels at scale, blistering speed, massive memory, and endless repetition. Humans, on the other hand, excel at values, emotional context, moral judgment, and social trust. The strongest systems in the world are going to combine both. One person with AI can increasingly do the work of an entire team. But AI only magnifies intent. A filmmaker using AI still has to control the emotional vision. A researcher using AI still has to point it at the right hypothesis.
And that introduces us to the defining concept of the modern era, cognitive orchestration. This is it. This is the ultimate meta-skill. It's the ability to coordinate human and machine intelligence by asking really powerful questions, structuring complex problems, and directing intelligence strategically. Because in a world of absolute intelligence abundance, direction becomes infinitely more valuable than production.
So what does it take to actually become a cognitive orchestrator? You need what's called the integrator's toolkit. You've got to have the technical literacy to understand the machine, paired perfectly with the narrative ability to shape its meaning. You need the strategic thinking to prioritize its outputs, the emotional intelligence to build genuine trust with your team, and the ethical reasoning to navigate some truly complex ambiguity. This specific combination is what creates taste. When an AI can give you infinite options, your taste, your ability to select the one output that is truly meaningful, well, that becomes your ultimate superpower.
Section 5. The synthesis, redefining human value. This is where we bring the paradox of abundance full circle. Because this isn't just about learning how to use new software. It is about fundamentally redefining what human value actually means in the 21st century. Trace this timeline of economic advantage with me. In the industrial age, the market rewarded physical labor. In the information age, the market rewarded technical cognition and retaining vast amounts of knowledge. But now, as we enter the AI age, the competitive edge shifts upward. As machines absorb all that routine cognition, the reward shifts to distinctly human differentiation. We are moving from execution to judgment, from just gathering information to applying wisdom.
When machines can generate almost anything, the rarest people become those who inspire action and shape meaning. The winners of the AI age are not going to be the people who try to compete with machines on speed or data retention. That's a losing game. The winners will be the orchestrators, the people who can create trust, who can navigate the fog of uncertainty, and coordinate others around a truly compelling vision. Human meaning is the ultimate bottleneck, and because of that, it is your highest value economic asset.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you. The future doesn't require you to become more like a machine to survive. It requires the exact opposite. As AI scales the execution of intelligence across the globe, your humanity is no longer a liability. It is literally your greatest leverage. The question isn't whether AI is going to change your work. That's already happening. The real question is, are you ready to become more deeply, strategically, and consciously human